just had Big Ten Media Days, and I don't know how much of it you all got to watch, but of course I'm going to watch everything Ohio State related, and of course I'm going to watch everything Scum related. That's what I'm going to do. Now I sprinkled in a little bit of Penn State, I sprinkled in a little bit of Oregon, I sprinkled in a little bit of Nebraska, but it was one of those things that jumped off the screen and screamed at me when Derek Moore from the team up north took to the microphone and had some very interesting things to say about flag planting, about our national championship, about the Ohio legislator. He was not shy, gentlemen, on letting his feelings be known, which is great. Good for him. I would rather somebody tell me how they really feel than to dance around and be all politically correct. So hats off to Derek Moore. At least we know where you stand, buddy. I get that. Again, hats off to Jeremiah Smith for letting us know where he stands too. It is already building up. That last game in November, you can feel it, man. It is building up for that, man. But Derek Moore comes out and he says the following. He says, "Congratulations on winning, basically, but you're not really a champion." Essentially, how he got. I'll go get the exact quote, but I'll start with you first, Chris, because I know you're going to have feelings about this. Let's specifically focus on what Derek Moore said about our championship.
Can somebody please explain something to me? Who the hell is Derek Moore? Who is this moron? Has anybody even heard of this guy? I mean, seriously, has the audacity to come out and say the Buckeyes championship wasn't real because they didn't beat Michigan? Pardon me? Let me break it down nice and slow for you so even an idiot wearing blue and piss yellow can understand. Ohio State ran the gauntlet of the 12-team playoff. They beat two SEC powerhouses in Tennessee and Texas. They took down the number one team in the nation in Oregon. And then they took out one of the biggest brands in all of college football history in Notre Dame. They hoisted the trophy. It didn't get any realer than that. My God. What I don't get what the guy's thinking. I mean, probably the same thing he was thinking when, I don't know, Dylan Gabriel treated the Michigan defense like it was a spring game walkthrough. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know. It's really rich coming from a program that had to cheat to get where they were, that's staring down the barrel of NFL sanctions, had to replace a whole coaching staff because they cheated to get their asterisk title. That they're the biggest joke in all of college football. Derek, listen up for just a second, you delusional idiot. Stop running your mouth. For the love of God, let Sharon Moore do the talking. Surprisingly, he actually showed a little bit of class. You're giving us bulletin board material and looking stupid the whole time you're doing it.
Keep running your mouth. I think you should keep going.
Yeah.
Just only advice. Keep your mouth shut and your helmet on because you're going to need it come November. Idiot.
No, take your helmet off and keep talking. That's the way I look at it. I have the exact quote in here. "I'll congratulate them on the win, but it's not a real win if y'all ain't beat us."
Y'all ain't, Eric?
Y'all ain't. We pretty much look at it like, hey, man, y'all had an easy title run. We helped y'all along the way. So we pretty much helped y'all build back up. That's literally was his quote. Justin, your thoughts?
I'm going to come at this from both ways. So I'm with Chris. I'm with you, Eric, too. I like the fact, he's got to represent him too, But I looked up. I was like, I've heard of this guy, but he hasn't done much. So I looked it up last year. He had 16 total tackles last year, 4 total sacks. 2 of those sacks came against Alabama in the bowl game. He had 1 stat registered against the Buckeyes last November. It was a pass deflection. But where I can say he has the right to stand on is his team won last year. So he can talk from a perspective of, hey, we beat you guys, and that's all they have to go on. We came out with a ring, we came out with a trophy, we came out with as a national champion, and that game did springboard us. But it's like he's like you said, Eric, keep talking. Like you said, Chris, keep talking. Let us print that out, put it in the Woody, get our guys motivated. This guy's, by the way, you guys know where this guy's from? Where he grew up?
I have no doubt he's from Ohio.
No, he is not. He's from neither state. He's from Baltimore, Maryland, of all places, too. So it's just random, So I guess it's cool for him. He's adopted this rivalry. He's probably going to be a defensive line starter, and they've had a good run of defensive linemen. So he feels like maybe, I gotta talk it before I can walk it. So I don't know. So
I am at a place this off season, gentlemen, where I want them to keep adding fuel to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it's going to take to light Ryan Day to the point where he literally considers going for 2. If we have a lead and it's out of hand, where he's like, nope, I'm just going to go for 2, man. This is a new name. I like it, though. Cheaters wear pea yellow. Well done, whoever that is.
And we're sure that's not Ryan Day's championship beard.
It might be. He
I referred to it as piss yellow.
He always has something good. I love it when he creates names and things. I love it.
That's great.
I want them to continue to add fuel to the fire. I want their arrogance to be so high when we come into Ann Arbor when we win, it's so deflating to all of them that we almost just take their soul and stomp on it. That's where I'm at right now with all of this. And so no matter what happens with the NCAA and whenever that is, we have to right this ship. We were talking about this the other, Chris. I'm pretty sure our T-shirts for that game that we're going to be selling are BTB. Beat the blue, beat the bum, beat the whatever you want to put in there for that B. That's where we're going to start. That's the slogan. Yeah, that's the slogan. Beat those bums, whatever. It's BTB. Hashtag BTB. That's where we're at, man. Yes, we're still going to Bucyrus. Absolutely. Be having a watch party there in Bucyrus. So hashtag BTB, everybody. Let's get that thing trending, man. Anyways, that was his first thing he wanted to talk about. Then he goes on to talk about the whole flag planting thing. And he says that he was just running around with the flag. Like, I'm just running around with the flag. I didn't know what was going to happen or what was going to take place here. And Sherrone Moore came out and said that's not going to happen. No more of that. At least Sherrone Moore knows what, I guess, sportsmanship should look like. Now, whether he can control all those yahoos that wear those colors or not, I don't know. Yeah, that's something I've been saying is when we win that game, you won't see a Buck player be planting a flag on their logo. I do not foresee Ryan Day allowing that to happen. And Sherrone Moore says we're not going to let that happen either. But Derek Moore goes on to say, I was just running around and then a fight breaks out and yada, yada, yada. But they're so soft up there that their legislation had to make a law. Why is it that a guy from Toledo, Ohio, that's where he's from, who wouldn't answer the question, by the way, when I've called and asked multiple times and emailed his office if he's an Ohio State or a fan of the team up north, I've still not been given a clear answer from this legislation individual. Why is his poor decision as a lawmaker applied to everything that Ohio State does? To me, that is the dumbest thing I have out of thing. It was dumb to try to make the law. It was dumb that they're using it as some kind of smear tactic or trolling technique here against Ohio State and their fans. Like any of those players were like, yeah, we need to make a law about that. That's so dumb. Chris, your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm tempted to channel my inner Caden right now and tell you what I'd like to do with that flag. Cut a little promo on this guy and turn that son of a gun sideways, shine it up all nice and polished, shove it right up. Anyhow, you know exactly what he was doing. He's not that stupid, although his vocabulary might indicate otherwise. He's not that stupid. He can't be. He knew exactly what he was doing. They had it in mind. They were intentionally trying to show up the team. And you know what? I'm glad Jack Sawyer went out there and did what he did. The only thing sad about it is he didn't knock the guy out in the process. Because that guy went out there to try the problem. He did. Then they're crying about the use of tear gas on the field. Well, guess what? You brought it on yourself, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, the whole legislative thing, I agree with you, Eric. That was stupid. We know exactly what I 100% believe this guy's a Michigan fan. 100%.
Josh Williams is his name.
And as far as why they're running with that is because that's all they've got to run with. That and 13-10 is their entire life because they know that the entire kingdom's coming crashing down around them. So they're going to run with the two things they got. 13-10 and your stupid lawmaker. That's it. I mean, that's all there is
to it. Justin, what are your thoughts on this, man? Them using it as I guess you could say ammo again.
Well, let me just address the legislative stuff too, because we had a legislator here in the Youngstown area try to put out the whole like no top 5 games could be played before 3:30. The only reason these lawmakers do this is because they know Ohio State, anytime it gets on social media or in the news, it's going to draw eyes. You know, Ohio State, the Buckeyes draw eyes. That's all these guys are trying to do is, you know, win over some Ohio State fans, good or bad. And that's all it is. But like with the whole, Derek Moore thing, first of all, I don't know if anyone's ever tried to plant a flag in AstroTurf or fake grass too. It doesn't work. But obviously, like you guys said, they're doing it just to get on under our skin, and obviously it worked to a degree. But you know, at the end of the day, we got to remember that a little bit, but we also just got to move on and just beat their ass in November.
Yeah,
you know, take care of business on the field. You don't have to worry about flag planting anymore.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And you know, it's funny because you know, you go back to that incident in your mind, right? I was there, so I was physically at the game, Justin, and the emotion and anger from Ohio State fans, and then the players, and when the players led by Jack Sawyer, I think. Some of the other ones,
Igbinosun, I think.
Davison Igbinosun was in on it big time too. When they after it did it get ugly? Yeah, it got ugly. But I'm here to tell you, being in it was ugly in the stands too. And Ryan Day's Beard brings up a really interesting comment that I want to throw up here. This whole rivalry is ridiculously toxic. We hate each other, and I miss when it was just about the game. It's irrationally toxic now. The entire offseason, each fan base wants to choke the other. I've been reading a lot about Woody Hayes, and you can't learn and dive into the life of Woody Hayes without learning about his relationship with Bo Schembechler. When it came to that game, those two guys were bitter rivals and enemies. But outside of that game, they were good friends.
Yeah.
And there used to be this level of respect between the two programs no longer there now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to blame social media for that. I think social media is the trigger that has pushed this thing over from healthy hatred of respect to just all out anger, vitriol, disrespect, and it's gotten ugly. It is
Mhm.
ugly now. Do you agree or disagree, or why? Chris?
Well,
Go ahead, Chris.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, all you got to do is look at my social media account to know how many times has Facebook shut me down because a whiny Michigan fan has reported me to Facebook for hate speech for saying something about that team. Or how many times has one of their demented gone on there and chopped up a video or a picture of me or of you or of TG or of Sean and does with it? Or most recently, somebody took a picture of my son from my Facebook account,
Mm.
which was a step too far. And thank goodness the person who was actually a Michigan fan but was the moderator of this site, he got it, found out about it, and he pulled it and kicked them off. But you know, you've got all these keyboard warriors and telephone tough guys out there now who want to go out there and run their mouth. And do I hate Michigan? Absolutely. I 100% hate that. I hate that team. That I'm here to tell you, I don't hate the state of Michigan. I hate the university. I hate the team. I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to truly hate the fans, and I feel bad about that. I do feel bad that I hate the fans, dislike them during the football season. But the way that the majority of their fan base has acted, a way the majority of their fan base approaches things, has led me to truly despise the fan base as a whole. We've got a few people, Eric, and you and I know a few. Obviously, Burks, Jerry. These guys are really good dudes. Outside of that, I can't think of one that I can say something positive about. And I do believe 100% what you're saying is accurate. It is social media that has left this because there is zero accountability when you get on there and run your mouth.
Right.
None. And you get to that point, like I said, with the guy who, took the picture of my son off social media this last week. You get to a point where you cross a line that you can't come back from. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would have liked to have ripped this guy apart when I saw him. But yeah, the social media aspect of this has destroyed the rivalry, I think, completely. At least finished it off. I think a lot of us were angry with the cheating scandal. I think that tainted the rivalry. The social media and how things have progressed over the last few years, I think has really finished it off. And I agree. And I'm going to say something that's not going to be very popular. And I think we're going to see a lot of people maybe in the chat who are going to disagree with me. And you guys maybe even disagree with me. I think it's time to move on from it. It is so toxic. I think it's time to move on from it. I would not be disposed to see Michigan in another conference.
Justin, your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to start with saying I like what you said about Woody and Bo to begin this. Even when Tressel took over, it wasn't hating Michigan. It was about we're going to beat them on the field. And we're going to focus our efforts to do everything we can to beat them. It wasn't this hate, though. It was like this ingrained respect. Yeah, you hate the uniform. You don't like them on the field. But like Chris said, social media has taken this fire and thrown gasoline on it. And there's no, you post something on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and you can't have a normal conversation with someone. It can't be only banter anymore. It's got to be either I love this team or I hate this team. We got to find some mutual ground that, we both love our squads. This is what fandom is about. But at the end of the day, if someone's taking pictures, like you said, of your son and doing that, like there comes a line where you can't cross, and that's getting to a ridiculous level.
My concern is that we are one crazy person away from a really bad end.
Yeah.
That's my concern. And it was a couple years ago. Remember, there was a Michigan fan who got arrested for threatening that he was going to kill. Was it Ryan Day or was it Urban Meyer or some of the players? And he got arrested and charged for that because of what he put on social media. But there's, in the day and age in which we live, and there's a aspect of this too, and I'm not going to get preachy, but we have to, you almost have to have your head on a swivel all the time. And with this much buildup that's happening between these fan bases and within the fan base itself at times, somebody who's off his rocker is going to do something stupid. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, Eric, I mean, even look at our own fan base. I hate to point fingers at just Michigan, but look at our own fan base. If Ryan Day had to hire security outside his own house, after the Michigan loss, to protect his family, there's something wrong. There's something wrong there. Like at the end of the day, we all want to win football games. We all want the best product on the field. But at the end of the day, if you're putting people's lives and people's families in jeopardy, then we've gone too far.
Yeah, 100% agree. And those people, those are the ones that, I'm not someone who says you should cancel people. I think that's one of the weakest things you could possibly do. But you cross that level, those people need to be canceled 100%, absolutely. I think that there's ways, there should be rules and laws put in place to where if you say something threatening to a coach or a player, it's one thing to say, you made a bad mistake here, or I don't like this player, I think that was a dumb, or what's Ryan Day doing here in this situation. It's a whole nother thing to attack his children, his family, and threaten him. Those people should never be allowed on campus, period. They should be banned from Ohio State University. All right, I don't want to spend any more time on this, but to me, that was the big story coming out of Big Ten Media Days, outside the fact that Ryan Day looks super confident. That man, when he got that giant monkey off his back when he won the national championship, he's walking with a different walk. He speaks with a different cadence, man. Go ahead.
Did he not almost come off as a little bit snarky when that reporter asked him, what do you got to do to beat Michigan? He's like,
you score more points.
Love
it.
That was the greatest thing I have ever heard.
Correctamundo.